So I guess how I got involved in SharePoint Community, I think that the first time it was probably, hold on, 2006, oh my goodness, 6 years ago when the very first SharePoint user group opened up in New York. So I was the attendee on the very first user group meeting, and it was really great because the reason why I attended this meeting was because I was working kind of in a vacuum for a long time, and I really wanted to see what others are doing with the technology, and what other challenges are out there, and kind of bounce my ideas of someone who is in the same field. And I attended this user group meeting, and that was the first time probably in my life I won anything, which was a ChorusWorks t-shirt, simply because it was 10 t-shirts and 10 attendees. So the user group is definitely much larger by now. It's probably, well, at least the average attendee count per meeting would be something around 100, 150 members. But it was really interesting to me. So it was a really cozy 6 months of really nice meetings, and they were really interactive, and we were just kind of, I think it started all from there. And I started getting more and more involved into community. I started attending SharePoint. Actually, it was still Dev Connections at that point, right? And it was really great to meet people whose books you're reading, and to ask them questions simply because your copy and paste from their blog, of the code from their blog, did not really work. So, and from there, it started.
Well, thanks a lot. I think you said a lot there in terms of just getting together with people who are doing the same thing as you, and I believe that's one of the great things about the SharePoint community, the fact that the share is really there. How about you, Chris? How did you get started?
Yeah, I got started, actually my first job with SharePoint when I converted from just doing software development into specifically SharePoint was with Bob Nixon, the MVP. And so when he hired me and taught me everything about SharePoint information architecture, he also encouraged me to get involved in it. So I started writing for nothing but SharePoint, started my own blog, and started speaking and doing a lot of other kinds of things. So it is his mark on his legacy, I guess, discipling me in my career that got me involved in it.
Excellent. That's great. I actually talked to Paul Gavin, and I guess you guys hear his name a lot because I think Paul Olenek has said his name before, but he's also trying to get a lot of different people that he works with to join the community as well. I feel like you just learn so much when you are a part of the community. And last but certainly not least, John, how did you get started? I really don't know your history at all, actually.
It's weird and wonderful. I kind of backed into SharePoint. For years and years, I was a Lotus Notes guy, and everybody can stop laughing. But it's interesting in the parallels between the two products, actually. Well,
John, now I know your dark, deep secrets.
one of them. And in the early, exactly, in the early 2000s, company I was with, I was building an imaging solution that would read image files, read information off a forum, and index them and store the forum, et cetera, et cetera. And we were putting our content at the time in Lotus Domino Doc, believe it or not. And then we opened it up, and we had these connectors to various platforms. And right at the same time, SharePoint 2001 was coming out. And looked at that. There was an API for it. I adopted it for the API, and bang, we were one of the first actually ISV vendors for SharePoint at the time.
Wow.
But it wasn't a core focus of ours. 2003 came out, and after a few months of its availability, said, "Oh, I guess we should port the application over. Let's have a look at what the new API does." And found out there wasn't an API, so that was interesting. Moving everything over to web services for the first time. About mid 2000s, we needed a repository. We weren't using Domino Doc anymore, and we had another couple of possible options, but they were becoming less available. Do we build our own repository? Let's have a look at the SharePoint thing, and that's when we got a sneak peek at what the 2007 architecture was going to look like. And we said, you know what, it's time to bet the farm on this stuff because they got it right. So at the same time, that company was winding down, so myself and another person from the company decided to do our own thing, and here we are today. That's basically a long story.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you actually touched 2001.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Probably still have it somewhere, not running.
Okay.